So welcome to day 5 of Surrounded, a walk through Psalm 23. Now, so one thing I've learned in my own walk with God is that life will not always be easy. Every road we go down will have its storms, but a storm doesn't mean we should stop. See, many times we're guilty of experiencing a storm and then stopping, but not just stopping, but many times we set up camp there. We have to realize that God didn't restore us just so we'd stop when a storm happened. Psalm 23 had been going along just like we like for life to go. Verses 1 through 3 were all good. Then all of a sudden it gets to verse 4 and it knocks us for a loop. That's what I love about Psalm 23, and it's what I think a lot of people really relate to, is the fact that it is like real, it's raw. But let's read verse 4. It says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Now notice it doesn't say, "Yea, though I stopped in the valley of the shadow of death." No, it says, "I walked through it." Storms happen. That's just a fact of life. And it doesn't matter whether you're a believer, follower of Christ or not, because storms happen to all of us. The difference for a follower of Christ that has grown in their relationship to the point that the shepherd has now become their personal shepherd, my shepherd. The difference for the follower like that is that we know that God will lead us through the storm. See, I meet entirely too many people that stopped in the storm, and many have experienced the floods, the thunder, and the darkness of the storm for way too long. Instead of stopping, it says I should walk through that valley. I'm not going to the right or to the left. I'm not going over it. I'm not going to go under it. I'm going to walk right through the middle of that valley because my shepherd knows what's on the other side of it. My shepherd is leading me, and he will protect me on my way through that valley. It's also that valley where there is the shadow of death. Jesus defeated sin and death on the cross, and he offers us the opportunity to choose that victory with him, but we still live in a broken world that has sin in it, sin that leads to death. So living in this broken world means that we still experience the shadow of the very thing that Jesus got the victory over. It's crazy, right? Well, the difference for us as believers, though, is that it's only a shadow. We have full victory over death because we were resurrected in victory when Jesus was resurrected in power and victory. I'm not going to fear it because I have victory over it. Now, you may not realize that you have that victory because I didn't either for a great number of years while I was following Christ, and growing in that relationship taught me that. Now, I would imagine that David at one point didn't realize that either, but looking back on his life now, he can see God's hand in it and sees that even in the darkest of times, God was leading him. Even when he was tempted to fear, the presence of God overcome the fear with God's peace. See, Charles Spurgeon once said this. He said, "Nobody is afraid of a shadow, for a shadow cannot stop a man's pathway even for a moment. The shadow of a dog cannot bite. The shadow of a sword cannot kill. The shadow of death cannot destroy us." Well, last but not least today, his rod and staff comfort us. His rod and staff are the signs of a good shepherd that protects and guides. A shepherd that fights off the enemy and is a fierce protector of his sheep, and also a guide, not just down the road of righteousness, but to guide us into a disciplined life, one that is seeking God consistently, one that is pleasing to God, one that is restored, refreshed, and rejuvenated, and one that is full of hope. You see, when you picture a dark valley by yourself, it's rather intimidating, and it makes you want to stay put where you are, even if where you are is empty and barren. But when you picture walking through a valley of darkness with the creator of the world holding your hand, with the good shepherd, with my shepherd, well, that dark valley doesn't seem to be as intimidating now. But I won't be able to walk through that dark valley just knowing about the good shepherd. I will walk through that dark valley when that good shepherd becomes my shepherd. Grandma's faith, as I've said before, is not going to be enough to get me through this valley. I need my own shepherd. I need my own guide. I need my own protector. I challenge you today to take up your tent. If you find yourself camping in a storm never meant for you to stay in, pick it up and take it and get out of there. Take up that tent and thank God for the storm, but thank God for moving you through it now. And through it, God will not waste one thing, not one drop of rain, not one strike of lightning, not one sound of thunder, not 1 ounce of darkness, because through the storm, God will reveal his glory through you and your life. See you tomorrow. Love you guys.